Commissar's log. No day number this time. I'm not even assigned to any duties at the moment. We were successfully extracted from the planet. We managed to escape the Horde, but it wasn't without significant losses. Not a single battle group made it off planet that day at anywhere near full capacity. We took a beating. So what happened? Well, after Icepack broke into my quarters, it all went horribly wrong. He and a small number of troops were making their way to the airfield in a hope of finding a better position, somewhere to dig in to defend against what was following them. I asked him, what is following him? And to be honest with you, I wasn't surprised by the answer. It turns out we'd been infiltrated. Surprise. Some vile creature, to which, when later described to me, it turns out to be the same type of creature that I'd come across previously. It had opened the gates to the compound and allowed in this horde of other creatures in, and he just started massacring our troops on sight. Even though Icepack and his troops fought hard and killed many of them, they were just too heavily outnumbered, and they had to regroup in another position. He was making his way through, and that's when he came across me. And so I gathered up my cadets, and we got ready to go. We joined forces with Icepack and his members of the 601st that he had with him. We broke out of the barracks and fought our way towards the airfield. It was a hard fight, definitely hard, but it was almost nice fighting alongside the 601st again. I mean, despite their seeming lack of discipline, they were all so well coordinated. They're brave and courageous, never shying away from a fight. Truly a force to behold. With the combined efforts of Icepack and his men with me and my cadets, we made our way to the airfield with no losses. The airfield was a mess. It looked like an artillery strike had landed there or something. But there were still troops alive there, and most importantly, the quartermaster was there. He opened up his doors to us and allowed us to rearm, which was good. But he had several items of heavy weaponry there as well. So we got them into good positions to cover as many angles as we could. We knew what was about to hit us. It wasn't long before they came at us. They attacked us from all sides. We were horribly outnumbered, but not outgunned. The onslaughts lasted maybe 15-20 minutes, but it seemed to last forever. Eventually they did fall back, and everything went silent. Not trusting the situation, we remained in position. We were there for half an hour and nothing. And we split the forces up into two groups. Half of them were to stay at their posts, at ready, just in case. And the other half were to try and get some rest. It was going to be a long night. But we kept the rotation to every hour. This way, people were always awake, and people were always on their toes. Icepack and I went back to the quartermaster's office. Well, what had become the quartermaster's office. We started to draw up some plans, but whatever happens, we didn't have enough troops here to defend for long. We needed to find some more. We got onto the comms girl, got her to start radioing out requesting reinforcements or see if there's anybody else alive out there or anything like that. But, you know, no hopes. So we decided to go find a small squad of volunteers and get them to go out, sneak out on their own, see if they could find anything at all. We got a squad of volunteers, and just as we were sitting down to explain it to them, the creatures attacked us again. It was different this time. Whereas before they were like a horde, a massive horde that were just ploughing their way through everything and destroying everything that lay in their path. This time they were organised and grouped up into squads very much the same as ours. They were performing manoeuvres that allowed them to both move closer to us and stay in cover. Some had even found firearms and were opening up on us. Now we were beginning to struggle. Now we were going to take losses. We had to fall back towards the centre, abandoning our heavy support. Although we did make sure we disabled them though beforehand. And we dug in. We used a few of the buildings that were around the airfield, using the entranceways to provide both cover and good firing points, which allowed us to take down as many of them as we could while minimising losses of our own. But it wouldn't last forever. Our numbers were slowly dwindling. We got down to just Icepack with the squad of troops that he brought with him, myself with my cadets, and the quartermaster. Icepack had taken up position in the doorway of the building that he and his troops had taken cover in. Armed with his power hammer, he was taking down the creatures one, like 2, 3, 4 at a time. It was almost as if he had the might of the Emperor right there with him, fueling him to greater glory. And then, over at the stores room, it wasn't looking too good. And it was until, from somewhere, he managed to pull out a rapid fire, large caliber assault weapon. There's an endless stream of rounds coming through that doorway. Anybody got in their way just got torn to shreds. This went on for some time. We were beginning to get tired. The cadets were beginning to miss their shots. Icepack's hammer was slowing down and seemed to be hitting with less force than what it was before. And there was a glow coming from the doorway of the quartermaster's office. A glow that could only be that of the barrels of a rapid fire assault gun that were getting way too hot. It was going to jam soon. I could feel it. And then we heard it. A cheer went up through our troops. Something was coming from beyond the creatures that were attacking us. We had some reinforcements at last. Somehow, Cass had managed to receive our message. He had made his way with perhaps half a company of troops. He pushed his way through the surrounding forces and made his way to us. And with their fresh energy and their ferocity that they brought with them, we found new reserves within ourselves to fight back. It wasn't long before we managed to push back the remaining forces that were attacking us. So yeah, Cass did hear our message, but before he had a chance to reply, the radio guy was taken out by a random shot that had come out of nowhere. But he did get our position. So he gathered up his men and started heading in our direction, picking up any other stragglers and bringing them along with him on the way. And now he was here, we had a sizable force. We felt we even stood a chance. We fought hard and for a long time. We were determined to survive, and every single troop proved his worth. It was impressive. Not a single shot was wasted, not a single position lost. We actually started to feel like we were going to win. That was until they brought in their own reinforcements. Larger, more heavily armed creatures arrived. We turned to more firepower on them, but it was no good. Our shots were just bouncing off them. We thought we'd had it. But then, just as it was about to end, there was a roar of jets coming from above us. We looked up. Transport craft had arrived. Rescue was finally here. One of the craft already had its ramp down, and a lone figure stood there with a rifle shouldered. A small flash appeared from the end of the barrel, and moments later, an explosion in one of the heads of the creatures, and it toppled and died right there. And then several more flashes, several more explosions, and the rest of the huge creatures dropped to the ground. Who was that? The craft landed, and we were instructed to get on board. We pulled the troops in from the outside inwards, making sure that everybody was covered as they were getting on board. The lone warrior now, she was trapped in a desperate close combat with the creatures on the ground, fighting them off as the rest of the craft took off. I thought we were going to leave her behind. But just as the last craft cleared the creatures, she leapt and landed right on the roof. Came in via one of the top hatches. But we were safe. We'd got away. We lived to fight another day. We were taken up, and the craft landed on a huge ship. It was named the Indomitable. It was the Inquisition ship. Once we were there, we were met by some officials, and they told us that we were no longer part of any battle groups, that technically speaking we were disbanded. When we questioned as to the reason why, we were just told that it was as per the Lord Inquisitor's orders. Nothing we could do about it. So now we're at Port Wonder, with no assignments, no duties, no nothing to do. I hear there's a bar here called the Union of Drinks, Bar, Grill, Casino and Embassy. I think. Sounds interesting. I think I'm going to be spending a lot of time there until further notice. This is Commissar Turch signing off. I'm looking forward to a good drink. For the Emperor.